Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. This is SETI Ups, and I hope everyone is really excited for Heresy. I know I am, and it looks amazing, but there is one thing above everything else in episode Heresy that I'm excited for, and that is the day 1 contest mode dungeon. But what should you bring into it? Well, I'm here to answer that question today. So, let's get right into it. First of all, Lost Signal. Amazing weapon for building up Dark Transcendence energy. Great for ad clear, getting some damage on enemies before you finish them off your primary. Lost Signal, amazing for bursting down high health targets, bringing those enemies from full health to half health to dead. This is a lot of the weapons I'm going to be bringing in. Stuff like this, the Major Burst. Another boss DPS and Major Burst weapon, the Supremacy. You can supplement this with another DPS sniper if you want. This is just my favorite one. A 1-2 punch shotgun for your melee builds if you're on Titan or Hunter. Just being able to chunk down enemies with your fist. Amazing. So good. Highly recommend bringing this in. Or any 1-2 punch shotgun. Perfect Paradox is the best though because of its Cast No Shadows perk, which means when you land a melee, you get ammo back in the mag. Heritage for when you need to do Major Burst once again. So good for that. I'm gonna have to restart. Hey, what's up guys, it's SETI Ups and welcome out to my channel. I hope all of you are as excited for Heresy as I am, but there's one thing above all else that I'm excited for in Heresy, and that is the release of the Sundered Doctrine Contest Mode Dungeon. But you might have a question. What should I bring into the Contest Mode Dungeon? I'm here to answer that for you today. First of all, we're going to start off with our kinetic weapons. First being Lost Signal. I'm sure you know, amazing for building up Dark Transcendence energy, getting enemies low health so you can finish them off with your primary. All around amazing weapon. Next, Scatter Signal. This is for your Major Burst, getting enemies low, those high health targets, those priority targets that you need to get low. Use this, bring them down on health. You can also use it to destroy things for mechanics. A DPS sniper rifle. The Supremacy is the best one. If you don't have the Supremacy, it's no big deal. You can supplement it with another one. But having a DPS sniper rifle might be really nice for bursting down majors or dealing with a boss. 1-2 punch shotgun is going to be very useful for your melee builds, for Titan and Hunter. Very good for chunking down enemies. It doesn't have to be Perfect Paradox, but it is the best one because of the Cast No Shadows origin trait, which means when you land a melee, you get ammo back in the mag. Very useful. Next up is Heritage. Heritage is amazing as a burst weapon with reconstruction and recombination. So good for dealing with high health targets. I highly recommend it for just chunking down majors. Next up is Alethanum. Alethanum is amazing at getting ammo. Let's say I use this in my Master Trio Witness Clear. And what you do is you just shoot it at an immune target and get those vestiges, heavy ammo, just like that. It's just that easy. There's a good chance this is going to be disabled, but if it's not, bring it in. This is one of the weapons I would highly recommend bringing in. Euphony is going to be very strong next season with the artifact mod and then bringing back particle deconstruction as particle reconstruction. This is going to be really good for damage, especially if you're on a warlock. However, it will be good on all classes given the right damage phase. It's just a really strong weapon. If you don't have it, it's not that big of a deal. You can use a different linear. This is just a really nice one to have. Next up, Midnight Coup, your workhorse primary weapons. You're going to see a lot of workhorse primary weapons on this list because you're going to need them. Ammo isn't as prevalent in a day one dungeon. just because enemies are harder to kill, so it's better to have primary weapons. This being probably the best kinetic primary weapon in the game. Multi-Mach is one of the other really great primary weapons in the game. I like using this one for mechanics too, mechanic-based stuff. Like I also use this on my Master Trio Witness to shoot the buttons and to shoot the arms. Just a really good weapon. Mountaintop, I'm going to be using this for Major Burst and for DPS on bosses. I actually have a role that I'm going to bring in for DPS just in case for some reason I need to be using Mountaintop for damage, which I don't think is going to happen. But this role right here, very nice, very strong, very potent, very powerful. It's a really good weapon. Next up, we get to our energy weapons. So you're going to see a lot more primaries down here because I believe the energy weapon primaries are the best in the game. And we start off with Nullify, probably one of the best legendary primary weapons in the game. Heal Clip Incandescent. Great, great, great gun for survivability, great utility. You can heal your team with it, nuke enemies with it, does great damage to enemies. Such a good gun. Another workhorse primary, great for your arc builds you might be bringing into the dungeon, seeing as arc is going to be really good next season. Just deals with waves of ads so nice, so quickly. Ariana's Vow is going to be really good for nuking enemies with solar shields, or also for destroying like blights or anything like that if there is blights in the dungeon, because we don't know what the dungeon is going to have. Very good gun. You don't have to bring this in. I'm just bringing it in because I really like it for nuking high health solar shield enemies. Xayoli's Bane, workhorse primary, probably one of the best hand cannons in the game. Such a good gun. You don't have to bring it in, but I would recommend bringing in a legendary hand cannon because they hit hard. Next up, a Baron Action. This one in particular is the one that I'm going to be bringing in, this rocket sidearm. Because of the heal clip incandescent roll. Once again, the same thing with Nullify, that utility that it brings. But you can bring in any rocket sidearm that you want. I would just recommend having one. Next up on Mission I, we don't know if the Darcy rework is going to change anything. Maybe snipers are going to be meta. So I'm bringing in this and the Supremacy for DPS snipers. And this is just the best energy weapon sniper in the game right now. You can bring in any other one you want to. It doesn't make that much of a difference. This is just the best one in the game, and I'm making sure all of my bases are covered, and that's kind of what I'm recommending in this video. Next up, Trinity Ghoul. This is for a very specific reason. Not only does it have amazing ad clear, but it also does amazing against Grims, because you can shoot up into a pack, it chains around them, kills all of them, nukes them. Amazing. Such a good gun for dealing with Grims. Next up, Retrace Path. I use this for mechanics. Another thing you can use this for is a swap off, because of the ammo that trace rifles hold. If you were to use a trace rifle and getting up to a DPS phase for a boss, and then swap off to another special ammo weapon, all that special ammo is going to transfer over to the other special weapon because of how much ammo trace rifles have. So I use it for that stuff like that and for mechanics, and it's very nice. Choir of One. I think everybody knows this at this point. This gun is insane. It nukes enemies, such good ad clear. This is one of the weapons, and probably the only weapon I'm going to say, if you aren't bringing this in, you're throwing, because it is just that good. And then finally, Sunshot. Hits like a truck, clears ads, deals with Grims amazingly. It really does really good against Dread. It's just a really, really good workhorse weapon, and I really recommend bringing it in. Next up, we have our heavy weapons. Eager Edge Sword. Obvious, very powerful, very good for movement, bringing it just in case there's movement. Galahorn, just in case we're dealing damage with rockets, so we need to use heavy for ad clear. Summon Bonum, just in case we need a DPS sword. That attrition orbs roll is really good, so you can keep your surges going throughout the damage phase. Apex Predator, just in case we're dealing rocket damage. Anarchy, for some weird reason we're doing damage over time, but I don't expect to use this. You don't have to bring this in. Bittersweet is going to be really good just in case I'm using another arc damage for arc weapon for damage. So if I'm using this, if I'm going to use Cloud Strike, I'm going to be using Bittersweet with it. Tractor Cannon, just in case for some reason we need a debuff. I doubt we're really going to need it, but you never know. Chill Inhibitor, once again, just in case we're dealing GL damage. Really good, probably one of the best damage weapons in the game. Whisper of the Worm, chunks, it hits like a truck. has the highest total damage in the game, really good DPS. I recommend bringing it in just in case. And Microcosm, because this is a Dread dungeon, we're going to be bringing it in just in case there's Subjugators, because Microcosm kills Subjugators fast. Now swapping over to my Warlock, there's just a few more weapons that we have. Wither Horde, damage over time, amazing weapon for damaging high health targets or sticking in on a boss. Tenacious Mastery, amazing add clear weapon, especially if you have that air trigger roll. Really good gun. I recommend bringing it in just in case. A Disorienting Grenades GL. Liturgy is obviously the best one in the game, but just in case for some weird reason you need blinding grenades, it's nice to have one. Izzy's for chunking enemies, or chunking bosses, such a good gun. Everybody knows that at this point. Bastion is insane for dealing with yellow bar targets. I use this in a Master Trio King's Fall, and on totems, it was one-shotting the knights. It's insane. It's so good. The Call, once again, just an add clear sidearm, really good, you know. A Glaive, Ray Kinkle is obviously the best one in the game. Just in case you need like DR for something or a mechanic, really nice. Riptide, best utility fusion in the game. Chill Clip is so powerful and it's really nice to have one on you. Next up we have Secession, just like a workhorse sniper rifle, good for mechanics, just in case you need it. And then Outbreak for your primary damage for like Final Stand. Next, we have Cartesian Coordinate and Zealot's Reward. Both of these are going to be for building up Particle Deconstruct fast. Also, Dex Mythoclast, even though I don't have it shown. It's going to be very useful for building up Particle Reconstruct fast. It's amazing. Forbearance for your ad clear, really good. Recluse, because it's going to be a void-heavy artifact mod, and with that hitting headshots perk, it's going to be insane. Stats for all Jolting VVAT Vantage Point, Workhorse Primary. All three of these right here are Workhorse Primaries. And like I said, with that Artifact mod, and this is also Workhorse Primary. Like I said, with that Artifact mod, hitting headshots with a Void Weapon will give you volatile rounds. Void Weapons are going to be insane. I'm probably going to have close to 20,000 kills on my Recluse by the end of the season. Like, it's going to be crazy. And then Cloud Strike for damage. You know, damage rotation with Bittersweet. And Icebreaker, just in case we need a hard-hitting sniper to deal with majors. Wardcliff Coil, just in case there's a weird boss that Wardcliff does weird damage to. You know, we had that in Vesper's Host, so it's not out the blue. Leviathan's Breath for consistent damage. Xenophage for bursting down majors. Just such a good weapon for bursting down majors quickly. Really, really good. And Commemoration for mowing down waves of ads in an ad clear encounter. I think everybody knows that this is one of the best ad clear weapons in the game. It's so good, it's so powerful. That pretty much does it. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them down in the comments, and I really hope this helped you out. And I hope all of you watching are able to get your clear, and I hope this list helps you. And remember, these weapons are not the end-all be-all. You can use other weapons. These are just my recommendations. And also, if you remember, I'll always remember that as long as you put in your work, you will be able to get that clear. But anyways, I hope you guys have an awesome rest of your day, and yeah, just have an awesome day, guys. Happy Heresy launch.